We'll call the, good evening, everyone. We'll call the work session for the evening of May 4th to order. Jennifer, it's nice to see you and Joe. Thank you. As you recall, we had Joe and Jennifer meeting with us last month to discuss our potential bond issue, and they have been working, sent out an RFP, and we had 2 responses. And I'm going to bring us up to date with those, and you have a recommendation for us this evening, okay?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. Thank you for having Joe and I back here again. Hopefully, you've gotten the presentation, so I was just going to walk through that, particularly the results that we got from the RFP, our preliminary recommendation, and then next steps of what needs to happen from here. So if you turn to slide 2, we issued the request for proposal for the town back on April 17th. And on April 27th, we received 2 proposals back, one from Capital One and one from Key Bank. They were fairly close in the rates, so we think that, you know, they show a market rate for the most part. You'll see, if you turn to slide 3, the differences between the 2. You will notice that when we initially talked back at the beginning of April, we had suggested that there might be a chance for a refunding, but we had noted at the time that the rate on that refunding was very low to begin with, so it wasn't a definite thing. That unfortunately did not work. It didn't cost anything extra to sort of put that out there. But really what you're looking at is the new money for both the taxable projects and the tax exempt projects. You'll see here the interest rates for each of the Capital and Key Bank proposals for the respective bond issues. You will note that if you look at the prepayment provisions, there's no prepayment penalty for Capital One, while there is prepayment penalties for Key Bank. And when you really run the debt service for both of these proposals, there's about $8,000 difference between the 2. Capital One is about $8,000 less. Yes, on slide 4, you'll see.
That's taking into account the $10,000 fee.
That's taking into account the $10,000 fee.
So their interest is actually a little less.
Correct.
By 1,000 or 1,200.
As we said, they're very
Very
close.
competitive.
Yeah. But the reason that we would recommend Capital One is due to the fact that they do not have any prepayment penalties. So we think that overall it's a better deal. Capital One did have a stipulation where you had to accept both bonds together, so you couldn't mix and match between the 2 banks. Key didn't have the same stipulation, but we think Capital One is the way to go. And you can see that on the preliminary recommendation on 5 sort of talks about what I had already mentioned. There's no other lenders costs. That's all included in those rates that they gave. It's non-binding, so even if you decide to execute on this and you decide not to go, there won't be any sort of stipulate or reparations for the town itself until closing. And then you can see if you go to slide 6, this is a chart that we showed the last time, but we've updated for the new money portion, so you can see what your adjusted debt service would be in addition to the defeased bonds that we had recommended the last time we were here as well. So just between $88,000 and $134,000 increase in debt service over the lifetime of the bonds, which is good. If you flip to page 7, as far as next steps, obviously we're here on May 4th to present the results based off of the email that we've received from bond counsel. If you would like to proceed with one of the proposals, she mentioned that a voice vote would need to determine which proposal you'd like to go forward with, and then authorize Mr. Mayor to sign the proposal, to sign the applicable proposal. I brought both of them just in case, which way you guys decide to go. And then I can fax that over to the bank tomorrow after morning, once we get back to the office. Once it's been signed and executed, we'll also start to work with coordinating the defeasance of those two bonds, the 2008 and 2012 taxables that we had recommended. And then next Thursday, Lindsay Rader, bond counsel, will be here to help with the adoption of the resolution. And then we would have closing on Thursday, May 25th.
Okay, so you need a vote tonight, if we're to go forward on capital or key.
Yes,
Correct.
that's correct. Again, it doesn't bind you until you actually close on it, but they want to lock in the rate, so they ask us.
So you only had two proposals.
Correct.
Was it because it's not enough money?
It's a small amount. We did get a feedback from just a few that it was outside the purview of where they typically give loans, but I think last time you guys had 3, but two is a good number, and as I said, they're pretty close in the rates that they gave. Sorry.
Yeah, as we talked about also, beginning of April, the banking landscape has changed quite a bit. We said Key had sort of entered the market and was very competitive. The traditional lenders that you use, PNC, SunTrust, for their own business reasons, have really stepped back from this type of lending for a variety of reasons. And it's not just here in Maryland. There's a state charter bank in Virginia that we do a lot of work with, called Carter Bank, and we just got word today that they reached their max in terms of the new loans that they were willing to do. And until some of those loans got paid off, they were out of capacity. So it's just a matter of what banks have appetites for at a given time. So the fact that we got two close together indicates we got the market as a whole. So.
And you feel these rates are about the best we're going to get?
Yeah.
Hey, council, have any questions of Jennifer or Joe?
They're both pretty much a wash as far as total cost with the interest rates. One's higher, the other was lower, right? So-
Taxable tends to be higher, obviously, yeah.
But I mean, between the two as a combined.
Oh, yeah, correct.
They're all
The
right on
wash,
top.
yeah, correct.
Yeah. So the difference ends up being
The prepayment.
You said $8,000.
Yeah, $8,000,
SunTrust
yeah.
is the better. You said there's prepayment penalties too on Key.
On Key, yes, correct.
Yeah, capital, yeah.
Just looking at interest, Key will be slightly better. But
Yeah,
Key also has a
$10,000
$10,000 fee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bank council fee, lender fee.
That makes the difference.
That does. And you have to look at it all.
So you need me to sign something tonight?
Yeah, whichever one you decide to go, there's just a signature page at the back that you would need to sign if you'd like to go forward with one of these.
Okay, do you have a motion to authorize the mayor?
I move we authorize the mayor to sign the proposal from, is it Capital One we should go with? Capital One for the 2017 A and 2017 B one.
Second. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Stacy, I have to refuse. My daughter works for Capital One.
Okay, bring up your sign.
Yep.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Now, will you all be back or just Lindsay next week?
Just Lindsay.
We'll be working with
Yeah.
staff on
Okay.
the details of getting this closed, so you have money to do projects.
Okay, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Very good.
Okay, we have results of two requests for bids. As you know, we're trying to move this along as best we can. It's coming in bits and pieces. But that's the way it happens when you have to go out to bid, so. And as you know, with the light fixtures, it takes eight weeks to get them, so. By the way, Donnie, we've been told that the poles have been shipped, right?
Right, they shipped from California on Monday, and possibly be here Monday, this coming Monday.
What were the bids on the plantings?
We got two bids back from F&F Landscaping on a brand new line, $23,767, and from Gardner Exterior from Dunkirk, $52,123.26. I did check into F&F Landscaping, their references. I've gone to their website. They do a lot of big projects with State Highway, over $1 million jobs. They've been in business for over 25 years.
Which one, Stacy? I'm sorry.
The low bidder.
The low bidder, F&F Landscaping. This is really a small job for them, even at $23,000. We did send them over a reference sheet. They filled out and they checked out pretty well. Spoken to them.
So they bid on the same number of plants and types and everything, like, so.
Everything was apples to apples. You know, they were, the only thing I can equate to, they're a much larger company than Gardner. Gardner's our current company that's doing our maintenance here in town. We awarded them our maintenance here in town.
Well, that's a big difference.
Huge difference in pricing.
I'm surprised Green Street did bid, or were they not, were they in conflict?
We were, no, we were surprised. I had a call from Ray, I'll tell you, I had a call from Ray Greenstreet. He was concerned that maybe there had been some kind of issue. They were accustomed to getting bid packages delivered, that were mailed to them. We don't do that. We advertise online.
Yeah.
And Stacy had told Brad is the one who's here, that it was online and that, we had to have the proposal in by such and such a date. But I called Ray back and explained that to him. Well, we were very happy with everything we've done at Green Street. But it just dropped through the cracks over there without pointing fingers.
Right.
Having said that, was it Brad that told you that their bid probably would have been in the 30s? But, so, we have a low bid in the amount of $23,000 to F&F. Do I have a motion to make that award to F&F,
So moved.
the low bidder?
Second?
Any discussion?
I just have a question, like, what kind of, like, warranties or anything on plants? I mean, I just knowing from personally, like at Green Street, but do they have any kind of warranty? Did they
That's
address
standard
that?
contract, with the town, standard contract is a year warranty. And, a lot of times, last year, we try not to do commercial, when they sell commercial, we don't have a warranty, like residential always is a year.
Right.
But we have a year replacement warranty in the contract.
And then, so they, okay, so either one of these would have to abide by
Be the same
that
contract, once we award it tonight, then there'll be a written contract, and we'll see.
in there, okay, good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Award is made to F&F. Wait, tell us about the lights now. Donnie?
Yeah, we put them out to bid, the lights that we look at.
We're talking about the,
Right, the California solid, the John Lighting Red. So we picked them, we had to do the lights and the arms, so two separate pieces. We put together a package, put it out to bid. Stacy contacted 3 NLS, which is the main brand of the light distributor. Told them we were going to put it out to bid.
they wouldn't sell directly to us.
Right, we tried to get them to sell directly, but they wouldn't, they had to go through the distributor. So we only had one bid come in, and that was Derek Marshall with Bright View Lighting. That's the same gentleman that came to the meeting, and also same gentleman that provided the pole for us.
That's
His bid came in, we had a rough budget in there, 24,000. His bid came in at 22,428. So a little under, even though we didn't anticipate. And that's, like, and we did upgrade to a marine grade, powder coat finish. So, yeah.
Does that include like the arms for banners? Or
That
is that just the?
does not include the arms, but that company does, sell, right now we had kind of had some straps around there, don't look the best, but this company actually makes a arm that is the last hole.
And he actually,
We got a price on
he
that.
actually did bring me pricing for that today
Right.
for, if you want to do a one-sided banner or a double-sided banner, he brought me pricing for that today also.
And they're short.
That's under our bidding threshold, so
Okay.
that's something we can look at.
How about the lens and the bulb?
That all was
That's,
in the
this
pack.
that's included
Yeah,
in
we had
our
the big
price.
pack, yeah.
Mhm.
It was like when Mickey asked for, we had the, LED lights, the wattage is what we wanted. And we got the right pattern, spread pattern on it, so. And I would recommend that, once we had one, we did new and.
What's the name of the company?
Bright View Lighting.
Okay, do I have a motion to make the award to the sole bidder?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Thank you. All right, we have, by the way, John Shea is not with us tonight. He's, John is undergoing some serious treatments, and I think we need to keep John in our prayers and thoughts. He told Stacy hasn't been in the office in, what, a week? So, remember John. Okay, Joe?
All right,
You want to, we're going to do the budget and the general budget, I guess, the capital, and then we'll go to the water and sewer,
that's correct,
proposal.
yeah. And what I did is I just put together a PowerPoint. You have your sheet here that you can follow along on. And then this is the PowerPoint that's going to be on the screen. And I just hit the highlight, instead of going through individual numbers, I just hit the highlights of the budget numbers. And with slide 1, what I talked about here is what our tax rate is going to be. We're currently at 6,325 per assessed $100 of value. And we're proposing in the FY18 to follow the constant yield rate, which is 6,329 per $100 of assessed value. Calvert County, the mayor went down to the county commissioners meeting and they granted the differential at .336, which lowers the county tax rate for North Beach to 6.16 to recognize the services that we provide for the citizens, that no duplication through the county. North Beach's net assessable base for July 1 of 2017 is at $240 million. So that's pretty substantial. So that goes into the revenue, top portion of the revenue side. And then,
Wait, do you want to, I'm sorry, just,
okay,
so, are we ultimately raising the taxes a little bit? I'm just
No.
confused, the 6,329,
no,
but you're saying,
we're going with
Well,
the
the tax-
constant yield rate.
The tax rate is raised by what, 4/10,000ths of
Right.
of a penny. So
so we're deciding to do that.
if we adopt a constant yield rate, in other words, the assessments actually dropped.
Yeah,
300,
just a smidgen.
couple,
If you
couple
look at
hundred
your,
thousand.
Oh, I see, so ultimately, the people's taxes won't go up, but because the
Constant
assessments
yield.
have gone down. so
Constant
the
will
constant
remain the
yield-
same, our revenue will remain the same.
So
We're
Right,
not
there's
increasing.
no tax increase.
right, no tax increase, but I just want to be clear, because people might say, oh, the yield's a little bit slightly higher, but the bottom line is taxes aren't going
The
up.
rate is 4/10,000ths of a
Right.
penny,
Higher, right,
but the yield
the overall effect, yeah.
the taxes will not be going up.
Yeah, just want to make.
Got it. The top part, the revenue part also, I wanted to discuss a little bit about what your special assessment is and what that looks like on your bill. So I just took a copy of what a typical county tax bill would look like. And that's where you see the special assessment on your bill. And the 626.30 is what is existing now. When we get through with our budget and we decide the rates, that number will change. Okay? So that's the assessments. Trash and recycling. Trash is going to stay the same rate at $2.95 per household. Annual fees pays for 2 weekly trash pickups and weekly recycling. Annual fee also includes bulk pickup once a month and 2 community cleanup events a year. And then again, citizens can find all schedules on the website.
Is there anything, reason why we couldn't go down to one trip, pick up a week?
Change the charter.
You could do that, and residents are very funny about their trash.
I know
You
that.
don't want
Okay, forget it.
Okay.
The time was only one second.
The snow and the trash, the only things that matter to them.
Right.
That's the one service they can touch and feel every
Water
week.
going off.
Okay,
Keep that like this.
all right.
She wants to get rid of that, don't touch your trash.
If you also notice,
Yeah, I mean,
also notice in your revenue, you'll see a slight reduction in your local income tax and other, and that's due to the audit through the comptroller's office. The municipalities that were overpaid were forgiven,
Yes.
but you still are going to see a reduction. Okay,
You
so
just don't
that's,
have to pay back previous,
yeah, they're a mistake.
That's
So-
awesome.
but going forward, we're getting less.
That's correct.
yeah.
And that's only an estimate because we have no calculations. We can only go by what they've told us so far. The gaming revenue, I reduced it because I'm worried about the bridge construction over at the Rod and Reel. And you know how I feel about gaming revenue. It's just a windfall if you can't really count on it. Yeah,
Just the National Harbor.
Reduced it, just as a buffer for the bridge and MGM opening, just as a,
yeah,
they'd rather not bank on it being there than bank on it being there and not on
exactly.
But we're gonna get the same percentage.
Of whatever that number is.
Yeah, okay, that's not gonna change.
That has not changed.
Okay.
That has not changed. And then there is a slight increase into the beach umbrella and chair rental revenues because of the increase you agreed upon at your, I believe it was the March work session. All right, administrative expenses. All right. Administrative expenses, admin salaries and wages was reduced by $7,500. So we cut a third of a person out. No, I'm just kidding. Last year, FY17, we had for a full-time person, but when we reviewed in staff, we decided that we could make do with a part-time 3-day a week. So that savings is reflected.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. All wages included 2% COLA and increases to code enforcement wages and additional part-time hours for the part-time code. Okay. There's software included in the code enforcement officer's proposed budget. And just to let you know, I mean, it is a dynamic package, covers a lot. You've got the submission from the code enforcement officer, gives a little more detail. But there is an annual maintenance fee with that of $4,500, just so you know. That's up to with any software package. When, that's about what we pay for just about all of our software.
Is it really?
Our billing for
See,
the water
when I pay
system,
When I pay for QuickBooks for my company, it's not.
our county system for,
He's a little bit more than QuickBooks.
okay?
I'm asking this question.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
And I believe the package, I showed you guys that software package previously.
Right.
You just now submitted it. That also includes some other things. So if you look at it, it's not just, like I said, it's fairly in-depth. It's not just the code of what's inside. It also manages the rental apps and some other things.
Okay, those efficiencies will come back.
It's a lot more professional and cohesive pack going forward, so we don't have that breakdown
It would
between
save us
code
some money
enforcement officers.
and time.
Right.
Okay, and then town hall operations, we're asking for a bump in that to cover some of the costs, the maintenance costs we have that are coming up. You know, our building is getting close to 10 years old. So there's some things that we have to address. Okay?
Xerox is spelled with an X.
Yes.
Well,
It looks better this way.
We have an off-brand.
That's right.
Saving them the money.
Discount.
It's a knockoff.
Sometimes we think you do.
okay,
Today we had an offer.
duly noted, duly noted. Okay, let's go to the next page. All right, engineering and zoning, code enforcement officer, taking on that duty.
He's not taking on engineering.
And just the zoning part, but that's the label of the line item. That's what it's called. So that's how I identified it, so you would know where to find it on here.
But we will be looking at another, I mean,
Yes, let me speak to that.
hiring somebody.
Let me just tell you, right now, just to bring you up to date, next Thursday, yes, next Thursday, at the meeting, they asked Paul Woodburn to come, so I can introduce him to you. He's the fellow I'm going to be recommending that you authorize me to sign an engineering contract with beginning July 1st. Paul is currently the Chesapeake Beach engineer. He's vice president of Venn Dyer Associates, which is a civil engineering firm in Prince George's County, has over 90 employees. He comes highly recommended by both Bruce Wall, who worked with him for some time, and Pat Mahoney. And Gerald obviously thinks a lot of him because he did the civil engineering for all the work that Gerald was doing over there to improve, the parking garage and enlarging his hotel, the condos and all that. So, but more importantly, because he's in the same region as we are, he deals with the same regulators, permitting people from MDE, DNR, and the Corps. And we know what a problematic that is.
Yeah.
He knows all these people,
Yeah.
so he doesn't have to get up to speed on anything. As a matter of fact, I've told John that, Paul will be coming in and expect him to work with him. As a matter of fact, SHA is having a meeting next week.
All right.
Yeah, Thursday. And Paul will be there. That's where we are with engineering. I'll introduce you to Paul next Thursday.
And in his duties in Chesapeake Beach, he's dealing with SHA on some projects over there, so just being.
That bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not so much the bridge, there's also, they want to get a sidewalk, boardwalk type deal along 261 from Boyce Beach on entry to.
Out to Browns Beach.
Out to Browns Beach, out to make safe passage along there. So he's working with them, and he's working with them for traffic light, power poles, African Station 2. So he can lump a lot of things.
And I told him the big issue before us is going to be 261, raising that road down there. And so he's familiar with the issues. And that's what this meeting next week is about that. It's a progress report from SHA on where they are on that.
And actually, the whole meeting right here, at Northeast Town Hall, so you do a field trip with everybody.
What time is it?
10 o'clock on Thursday.
I'm sure.
And Paul's a local resident too, right? He's local in the area, I think.
Yeah,
And like
it was Huntington.
Huntingtown, right? Just familiar with the town.
And Marvin, when we do, I don't know how many, I can't remember how many hours like with John Hoffman, so it would just be on a contract
Yes.
as needed, or is there like a set minimum or?
I haven't
Figure that
signed,
out.
I haven't, we'll take John's contract and he won't be putting in the hours that John did, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes, you know.
Okay.
So that'd be good.
All right, so under professional general services, there's an added item of intern for $1,000. That's for the intern, if we get one from Chesapeake Conservation Corps, so they can attend the conference. That's one of the agreements you make as part of the intern program. Excuse me.
That came from Ron,
Roundway parking increased for the municipal lot across from the Sally Donaldson Welcome Center. And then increased ground maintenance in the public areas is one of the items that's hit in that particular budget section. And it involves the new trash cans and replacement lids that you requested, okay?
Yes.
Thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome.
Thank you, yes. Happy to help.
All right, let's go to the next page. All right. On this is community waterfront development. We reduced, line items hit here, we reduced weddings, fixed assets to 0. We don't really have anything we're buying in FY18. We increased the farmer's market expense to cover some entertainment, correct? Increased July 4th celebrations, cover some of the fencing and things we need for the crowd we expect.
And $1,000.
I did.
Chesapeake Beach gave us $1,000 from the town treasury to help in the putting on the North Beach American Film Festival. As a show of cooperation between the two towns. What you do, your economy helps our town. So they took the initiative and gave us $1,000. I feel it's only fair that we return the favor in the same amount to show that we, also want to work in a spirit of cooperation on an event that they pay for, but benefits North Beach. And the fireworks, I think, is probably as good an example as something.
Okay. There's increase to the dragon boat races line item. And there's a new item, American in Bloom, and you've seen the waterfront. It's starting, it's begun, we're in bloom. Okay, so let's go to the next section. Oh, I skipped a page, I'm sorry. I did, I'm sorry. I can't go back. All right. Waterfront operations, this one's short anyway. But you guys can flip. Welcome Center fixed assets reduced from 11 to 7, that's a big item. And then the beach dredge, you'll notice it's 0, and that's because it's under capital projects. You're doing that $200 and some thousand, and that's why.
How come the welcome center is reduced by so much?
He didn't have a request for items, additional purchases. We don't need it, we don't spend
let
it.
it go.
Oh, no, I just was surprised.
Okay. All right, let's flip to the next page. Benefits and general liability insurance. It's the same page on here, but it's just a little further down, benefits and expenses. And increase to Social Security and Medicare is for the compensate for the 2% COLA that the employees, all the employees receive. And then increase annual retirement contributions because that's related to the salaries. And then general liability and property insurance, but there's no change. Okay? All right. Then we go to the next one is public safety and public works department. Public safety, you'll notice that resident deputy services is bumped up, and that's due to the 2-step increases you agreed to, Phelps and Riding on. And then they have COLA raises in there also. Public works salaries and wages also includes a 2% COLA raise. Street signs was reduced from 10 to 7,500. Street and sidewalk maintenance was increased from 20 to 33.5, because we've got a project they're working on, or got planned for FY18.
For new sidewalks.
Street and sidewalk. I mean, one of the main areas is gonna be Chestnut Avenue.
We have flooding issues. Water runs down Chestnut into the yard.
And then under Public Works, there's a new item that we've talked about. It's the overhead tree maintenance for 12.5 annually. If we keep it up with it every year, we won't have to do it one big run, cut and butcher the trees. Okay, so then we got an increase to the Public Works equipment purchase. Donnie's asking for $50,000 for a new snowplow.
Donnie, you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, Joanne asked me for some information, and I apologize, I might get it for the meeting late, but what we were kind of looking at was, you know, with the streetscape stuff and the islands and the tree things, and also the park, and, you know, we get more public areas, everything's looking nice. This year was a great year, we didn't have any snow, but I'd like to try to find something, maybe do like a bike path, sidewalks, you know, like a 6 foot wide, snow blower type deal. That would, I priced one like you see when you leave Rick's Bobcat, you know, next door with the snow blower on it, and that's the price that came in, was $46,000, you know, right around $50,000. I'm looking at all the alternatives, I don't think it's gonna do that much, I'm trying to find, like, they had, John Deere sells like a riding mower on those, but you can mount a front blower on that, it's got a little catch, you can do it out in the cold. And I hadn't really had time to ride out and get a firm price, so I think they're supposed to $35,000. But it would be like for the public areas, like sidewalks, parking lots, like they issue museum.
Not for plowing the streets.
Not really for plowing the streets, right, more like for the sidewalks, like I say, and then the lanes, you know, parking lanes, and then, because if we do get snow, like I say, I hope every year it's like last this winter, we don't get any, but it starts piling up, and you don't have anywhere to scoop it, and then moving it, I'm thinking a blower, you might be able to blow it, and we do, right now we contracted, when we did have snow, last couple times, with Rick, but the problem with that is that we get a lot of snow, everybody gets called, everybody gets busy, and then you can't find them when you need them, but it's just that we were looking at, you know. Now, I'd like to go to NML and hopefully find, there's not really good snow equipment around here that's gonna get enough to, you know, worry about, I guess. But I'd like, hopefully somebody over there, like the guy we bought the jet riding machine or something like that, might have something for, you know, affordable that we could work with. That wouldn't break the bank, but also if we do get snow, we could knock out the boardwalk, like that, sunrise gardens and areas like that, so people would walk, because we, I mean, style. We're gonna get the boardwalk cleaned up in a couple hours, like, well, the boardwalk, the bike path's not clean, so that's, you know, kind of, that's what we're looking at, you know.
It's for
Welcome for the-
maneuvering in smaller.
Yeah, maneuvering in small areas, yeah.
And how much do we spend right now, like, if we call somebody to do that? What does it cost?
It's probably 100 or 75 an hour, at least $100 an hour. And like I say, a lot of guys now want to have a contract, because they don't want to have their equipment sitting there, and they want you to pay them like a minimum wage contract, even if you don't work, even if they go to work somewhere else and retain the type contract. If you don't do that, then it's just pop up, you have to try to call and see if someone coming early, and try to get them to be able to do it. Rick has contracts with Anthony Williams on all his developments. He's been good in the past, as, you know, good for the town. But like a pickup truck with plows, I'd usually 120. A piece of equipment like this Bobcat would be in $100 an hour range. Like I said, a lot of times they want you to, you know, put out a formal contract. And, you know, if you call them, they're gonna sit there for 8 hours, like a minimum type thing.
Well, I can tell you Bud gets 130 an hour just for his little thing,
Right.
plus shovel,
Right.
he gets per hour,
Right.
so.
So you're saying you would use this on the boardwalk itself?
Going to the bike path, like it'd be 5 foot wide. So I want something,
Well, that's fine,
I'm
thank you.
trying to remember the website, I can't remember what I'm talking about, but you get there, it's a cool little machine, but it can go down the sidewalk actually. You know, it blows off the sidewalk, where we have, you know, with the new sidewalk now, Chesapeake Avenue and all that, we'd be able to.
Will we start doing all the sidewalks? I mean, what, like, are we
No,
just
we're not,
saying the public area, kind of the
Public
general
areas.
public area?
Yeah, like Sunrise Garden Park, we would do that, you know,
Dallas Park.
Dallas Park.
How about navigating around the new islands?
Yeah, that's what's kind of started, because with the
I need to
islands.
see a blade out there.
Right. And that state highway's been good enough to do 261, you know, just to get in Freetown. but they want me to take care of the shoulders. So this equipment can do the shoulders, parking lanes. You can pull right up to the tree wells, blow it into the tree wells. We can blow it on our dump trailer, haul it away, so you wouldn't have that blowing or pushing it on the sidewalk. You get rid of snow. That's a lot of problem, just the gathering places, where to put it, to get them out, in and out of snow. This type, it's like, more like a blower, it would blow it, remove it. Tree wells, some of them you see like in between, or maybe 10-foot space, or pretty close together, so you can't get a truck with file in there. This thing you could pull in there, clear that area, put a crosswalk, wherever,
Are you looking for it to be like on a Wildcat or like a Walkman?
More like a Bobcat. Yeah, more like a Bobcat. It'd be like small John Deere, kind of like a front mount mower almost. Like a golf course you use is like small, maybe not much bigger than the state. A little bit bigger than that, of course, because it'd be stuck on the snow.
I go to a trade show sometimes in February and March.
Right.
For equipment rental.
Right.
So I've seen all these, so I'm trying to remember the vendors there and see if I have any of the contact for you. So.
And hopefully it's like.
So we put 50 in, but we don't have to spend.
We don't spend, I'm almost guaranteed we won't spend 50, it'd be like 30, 35, but I don't want to come back and say, it was 58. We got a price of Bobcat, if you get something similar to what Rick has there, it was around 48,000 for a new machine, but I can't really justify. We like a machine to do two things, a couple of different things. So we got our tractor that we have to cut the alleys with. He was here before I was here, he was just probably 15 to 20 years old. If we could get like a John Deere small tractor that could also push over the alleys and stuff like that and replace the tractor we have. So we can do two things.
Sounds good.
Yeah, this
You
is
can get around, that'd be
snow
great.
blower would, you take that all, put it in the shop, pull it up, just like their salt spray. So we look for
Yeah,
multi-purpose
that'd
type.
be good.
Yeah. But I just wanted to, like I said, I apologize, should be bringing more information, but we kind of a busy.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah.
Okay, the next page is page 8, your debt service. Well, I'm sorry. And I incorporated the, anticipating that you would go with Capital One in there, and then also the reduction of the 2 bond bills that we're gonna pay off. So that's incorporated in there.
That SunTrust, what's that pay off? The prepay of the
SunTrust is the retirement annuity back when,
SunTrust? Yeah,
remember?
okay, yeah.
And then the Boys and Girls Club. Okay? So that's what those 2 are. One's about 44 and the other's about 134, something like that. All right, so that's general fund. If I could get you to go, 1 second, let me flip the page. All right, capital projects. We're gonna skip sewer and water. I know you're just anxious about that one.
We'll skip it till later.
I've been anxious for years about that.
Okay? For capital projects, basically I just listed what projects that we're gonna have. The first page you see here on your capital is your revenue. I'm just showing you how you're gonna pay for it. Part of it's coming out of the EDC money. We have a grant for $100,000 for the community legacy, the new bond monies, and then the MLGIP reserve, which you're gonna have to use. And then 3rd Street waterway improvement, which was in FY17, so I have to account for it, okay? That's your revenue side. Now let's flip the page to your expenses. I should put in for a new computer.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a budget adjustment.
But I'll make him do, okay. Capital projects, you see the different projects, the ones that are ongoing, and then most of them we have completed with the exception of, under FY17, the stormwater we're working on, that goes towards the berm, whatever the design is that Donnie and John come up. That's the dike, the berm, what's left of that change order. Performing arts, you already paid that, you've got your study. Flower boxes on Bay Avenue, we probably won't use that because we found an alternative for that. We're making those in-house instead of contracting out. So that'll be a savings. A little bit, because we had bond for
Bud is doing it, by the way.
the roads and street sidewalk construction, 710, that's this, the whole compass of Chesapeake Avenue all the way down. And then new cameras for the pier, there were cost savings there, so you only spent 8,500. And then the beach dredge, we have 45, we had 45 in this year. Most of that was, to tell you the truth, was engineering and some kind of soil testings for the beach. And prelude to your dredge project. Okay? So that's FY 17 in a nutshell.
Wait a minute, Joe, go back to the road, street, sidewalk construction, 710.
Yep,
Talking about the streetscape.
yeah.
The raising was what, 90?
Around that, yeah, 89, 90,000.
And the paving was what, another 160?
I believe it was right around 160, yep.
This is your number that's reflected in your detail.
In the bond,
Yeah.
yeah. But it doesn't have to, you don't have to spend all of it, what I'm saying.
What?
What do you have in there for crosswalks?
Whatever-
It might not add up to 710,000 so far, but
That's what I'm getting at.
Right.
We haven't
You
made-
might not spend it. Then you can spend it for another capital project, whatever that is. It has to be a capital project in FY 18. I'm merely saying that the rate you're going, obligating contracts versus,
We're not going in. You talk like we're hauling ass.
when you're spending this kind of money, it's hauling ass to me.
it's chicken scratch.
So that 710 is covered in the bond?
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right, that's all right. We don't have to spend it. So you're-
Okay.
Okay.
Do we have a breakdown of what we have spent on,
Yeah,
like in one
yeah.
easy, quick little place, like the rate of the road?
I have it in a spreadsheet, and I can give it to you.
That would be
I'll send it
helpful.
to you.
Yeah, just to see
Yeah.
what we've spent, so like
Yeah.
that, the breakdown.
Counting what we awarded tonight,
Right.
please, Joe. That would be helpful.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to get our bill, Stanley Concrete, we did our walkthrough to get all the measurements, so if you want to wait a couple of days or whatever. It'll be all the paving, all the concrete, everything, that'll be totaled out, and the striping of it. And then, we have the electrical and the lights, and we have everything should be included.
Yeah, we can anticipate it.
Well, only thing I have left is crosswalks.
Right, right.
So. And we
All right,
did
well,
have,
yeah,
We can do that.
let's work on an accounting of what has been awarded, and what's left, and the fees that we know we're going to pay for what's left.
We're
Okay,
anticipating.
okay.
Just, I mean, I know you have that information, you just need to put it together again.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
I don't want to go too fast for you.
right? What?
Okay.
Sounds like we're going too fast for you.
Oh, now you're gonna throw down the gauntlet. There we go. Economic development. You got another week of this. You got next Thursday.
Keep up
too.
with quiet.
All right. Economic development. It's basically the same. The only thing that has really changed on economic development is we don't have any consultant fees yet. But you know how we are with budget adjustments in the middle of the year.
Can I ask a question? And this line item for 14.5 for Mosca, is that, were there banners, proposed banners for the new light poles here on Chesapeake Avenue?
No, honey, you already spent 14.5. See the actuals in this column?
Give me money. What else? We bought another one.
You already spent 14.5.
That was for more Christmas decorations.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right.
okay.
That's-
Only $4,000 is being allocated.
Is that enough for those banners?
That's what was requested.
Should be.
Did you request it?
Oh, I'm not an EPC.
No, did you request banners for Chesapeake Avenue yet? I don't think you did.
Wait, you and Lisa Payne are working on it.
Lisa Payne did not bring me any paperwork yet.
I just-
I didn't request any banner on
But we're back on that.
This is a number that Richard provided, okay? Based on his knowledge of what his, it needs repair and replacement.
And
There's
Jane,
no
can I just
number
point something
reflected
out?
for banners.
The 12.5 for Christmas is not for ornaments.
It is not, it's for installation.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
I said it's not for.
Every time you want one of them
ornaments.
trees wrapped, you think about that number, okay?
Well, you can call us when you want trees wrapped, we can all come down.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, you remember the last 10 years.
No.
Yeah.
We can do wrap a tree down.
I'm gonna wrap your tree in a minute.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so that's the budget and the summary, okay? What I'd like to do is go to the last page on
And then
this.
one more thing, just from Rick, seasonal code enforcement is from when to when?
Well, right now, he only works 15 hours a week, but after talking to the mayor, I'm not, my position, I'm not gonna go to 40 hours a week, because I told him I don't think that it's gonna require that, and I didn't think it was, I just thought it didn't make sense to say, yeah, do 40 hours a week, and then it's not needed. So my hours are basically the 28 they are now, and I'll work at any additional over hours that are needed to get whatever is done. But that budget there is to increase the seasonal person from just 15 hours a week to all year long at 15 hours a week is where the difference is.
Oh, okay.
That'll help offset the extra hours that I may have to work.
That you'll have to do for zoning,
Right.
because you'll have to come to the.
Right. So that'll just help offset the additional hours that I work and take away from that, they'll be able to pick those up.
Okay.
Okay,
And see, we were paying
Right.
engineers.
We're saving a lot of money.
We are.
huh. Okay,
Don't ask for a raise.
last page. Last page, this is a little fun fact that I threw in here, because one council member asked me a question, and it kind of triggered something. FY16, our general fund budget was $2,774,000. FY17, it's $2,950,000, and then 18, this is what we're proposing. It's a $6,000 increase. Majority of this number, you have $80,000 in grant that pays for Veronica. Okay, so that's the big jump, one of the big jumps you see here. The raises, the 2% raises are part of that. And then there's some equipment purchases that are part of that. Some of your specialty projects like American and Bloom are part of that make up that jump. So that's what I wanted to show you was you're really not increasing that far. The other item I wanted to show you is your town tax rate for the last few years, and then also what your constant yield rates were, just in case there's any question. We're not raising taxes. We haven't raised taxes. Okay? All right. Any questions on any of those items?
We have Veronica for how much longer?
We've got her until June of 2018. She's working her fingers to the bone.
She is, I can vouch for that.
Okay.
I should announce that the town has been awarded $30,000 from the Maryland Energy Administration in the form of a grant to pay for, in large part, an electric vehicle.
That was one she put in.
Yes, that we're going to give to Rick to do his code enforcement, because right now he uses his own vehicle.
That's awesome. Did that come with the, I guess you put one in for the.
Charging station.
Did that come with it?
It doesn't come with.
I mean, it's
It's
you put in the
included
grant.
in there.
Yeah.
But I believe that will have to be the one that we do down at the yard, because it's his vehicle, has been. But we'll work that out.
That's awesome.
And just for information from you, I just got an email from Veronica today, and she spoke with Mike Honeycake, who's the Sustainable
Right.
Maryland fellow, and we should know by Monday whether we have to make any additions or corrections or changes.
In order to get recognized in the fall.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for the tough part? That was easy.
Joanne, maybe it would be important just to point out about the Richard piece, that there's money in the budget in terms of the waterfront staff. I mean, I shared with some, there was concern about the bathrooms being closed early during the months when it's late out, and people are out, even though it's, it may not be full season yet. But as part of his budget, there's funds in there so that the bathrooms will now stay open until dusk, year-round. So part of it's a policy piece and part of it's, a staff piece. I think that's important,
Well, it's
because
also
a lot of people have
important-
been asking about that.
It also is important to note that that's also puts, if they're not open, puts a lot of pressure on the businesses.
Well, that's where it
who
came,
have bathrooms.
right,
That don't really want to use them for the public.
exactly.
I think what should be noted is that he didn't ask for an increase in any wages to do that, that he just reallocated personnel to do that.
Okay, that's
That's
important.
important.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right, water and sewer. All right, let me get ready. I won't move too fast for you. All right, discussion. All right, during this presentation, we're going to discuss the following items: the current debt structure for the two utility funds, how we can promote water conservation, and how to restructure our rates to help us move forward to meet our goals. I got you yet?
Almost so excited.
That's so exciting. I don't like it.
All right, let's talk about water benefit fees, pay the debt service for the utility fund. Things you should know about it, just in case you're asked by a citizen, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of conversation about this. Water system bond is for the construction of the water system. The bond was restructured in 2012 to take advantage of the lower interest rates, as you're well aware, because most of you voted for it. The town saved $229,000 by doing that, so pat yourself on the back. But it was a 5-year deal. After 5 years, the payment goes up to $101,162, where it would have been naturally had we not achieved those savings. However, the addition of new users since 2010, which was the last time you even contemplated increasing sewer and water rates, we've had more users come online, with San Francisco being increased. So we can spread that benefit fee across a broader scale and actually reduce the rate. And you'll see that reflected as we go through. Okay?
That's the good news.
Yeah.
Well, it's all good. It's all good when you wait. It's not as bad as it could be. It could be just people. All right. So I give you a little breakdown so you can see how that happened with the Allange. And I use that word because that's probably the only time we'll ever use that word.
Is that a French word?
It's a ooh la la. Okay. So page 5. How much is the annual debt for the water fund? The water system bond. Purpose for the bond is to pay for construction. I already said that. Yeah. I repeated myself, excuse me. Annual debt service, I told you the amount. I apologize. Slide 6, which let me go to slide 6 because that's for dramatic effect.
Page 4.
We skipped over, I read them to you. I read them to you.
Oh.
Okay, guys, let's bear in mind, there are two funds, and there are two fees. The benefit fee is an annual payment, once.
Pays off the bond.
Pays off the bond, yeah. The operational cost of both water and sewer is a quarterly payment, as you know, paid 4 times a year. That's going to go up. What she's showing you here is, even though our payment is going up from what, 55 to 101, doubling, we are not doubling the benefit fee because we have so many more users. We are actually able to give a slight reduction of $21 annually to our residents on their water benefit fee, and there'll be a slight reduction on the sewer as well. So the benefit fees are going down slightly. The operational fees, the quarterly payments, are the ones up. But bear in mind, that we have not raised the water and sewer rates in the town for 10 years.
And
10
the
years.
reason why they're going, Jane, you and I were talking like, why this year you were saying we hadn't raised it, but it's that 5-year mark, because this is the year where it's doubling, our cost is doubling. On that-
No,
No,
Well, no, on that
No.
slide that you have, you said it's after the initial 5 years, the payment will increase from 55 to 101.
it will.
So that's why we need to raise things now, is, right?
No.
That's the big reason?
No, that's operation.
Different,
That's why I was saying, there's a
Different
difference
bond.
between the benefit fee and the operation.
Okay, so the bond is just on the.
Benefit fee.
Okay,
Yes.
Just the benefit fee, the debt.
okay.
what
And
you
the-
got today in the mail is the operating, is what you pay for operations, to bring it to the house, to
The
treat it.
pouring.
Right.
So the reason we're able to reduce, like the mayor said, we have more users.
Right.
Okay? And you remember where you see the benefit fee? You see it under your special assessment on your tax bill that we talked about earlier. Okay. Let's go to page 7, sewer benefit fees. This system has 2 bonds, the Shellfish holding tank and the enhanced nutrient removal system. The Shellfish holding tank will mature in 2022. The ENR will not mature until 2036.
And these are expenses we really had no choice in, participating with the Chesapeake Beach wastewater treatment plant. These are both in the vein of environmental protection, which doesn't come cheap, but as you can see, you go to page 9, because of the increase in the number of users, we're still able to bring it down a little bit.
Right.
And again, that's what we're trying to do, is save money and not charge excessive.
Can I,
Yes, you can.
and this, it goes back to the ENR and Shellfish. How much total was our cost for that?
We borrowed $1,850,000. We haven't borrowed all the money down yet. I had 2 more invoices to submit that should take us right up to that line. Okay? There are some costs that were not included in the loan because they were disqualified for inspections, which we paid out of pocket. Okay?
Well,
I knew that was kind of a floating target for a while.
Yeah, one of these does mature in just 5 years, though, that's good.
That's good. So, and then maybe you can address more conservation issues then. Okay,
So now we're going to go to page 10, the operating costs, and what has happened to the operating costs.
okay. As you can see, and I gave you 10 years' worth, how it has slowly increased and kind of remained, you can see it's a steady grind. That's not going, those expenses aren't really going to go down. It would take a drastic change for something to go down. It's more likely to go up than it is to go down. To tell you the truth. Okay, and a lot to do with that. When you look at your sheet here, your budget, you see the operating costs for the plant went up. You see that we added one other item, which is salaries, wages, overtime for our staff. And we'll get into that a little bit later, and that's due to paying personnel instead versus comp time, ones that are emergency calls. Again, that's only as needed. Then the other item, again, is the debt service, the ENR. You see that that has gone up drastically in FY18 because that note is becoming due. We're getting ready to go to settlement on that note, so you're going to be paying more than interest. You're going to be paying principal and interest. Okay? So that makes up the sewer section of that.
Yeah, before we move on, Mark,
Mhm.
Mark, would you ever ask Pat if the sewer, at the water reclamation plant, very big on changing the name of it, if the guy in charge of the on-cost could come over and, if not monthly, quarterly, give us updates on how the plant's running, because I know they were having some computer issues, but they're hoping once all that is fixed, that they're gonna be able to get more efficiency out of it, and maybe dial back the chemicals to exactly what they need. That's one of the main reasons I've been going over the Chesapeake Beach meetings, is honestly just to hear what's going on with the plant, knowing that a lot of this is coming to fruition on our side. Which is, I think, him coming occasionally would be very useful, just to inform us on what's going on with that plan. So,
I'll ask, does he give a report there
he
monthly?
does, he does give a monthly report there. So,
Is it written?
it is written, so, but it,
Why not do the report, and I can kind of look
Yeah,
at
we
it.
can get his report.
yeah, and the quarterly may just be nice to, if we have questions based on his report, to ask him,
Don't do that.
yeah, how that's
I can get that, and then I can go over it, and highlight it.
So-
Yeah, as part of your report.
Yeah, and that's where I started working next for the county, was running that plant. John Castle replaced me when I went to Solomon, so I can bring it back.
Yeah, so this is included in your report monthly.
Okay.
But yeah, I just know that, like, they're looking to try and get some cost savings with all the
Wonderful.
improvements. in the-
Which will help us get saved.
Exactly.
Remember all that,
Yeah, we-
MDE is the main
remember we-
regulator, MDE is the main regulator.
We're, what, 18, 19%?
19.
19% user in that plant.
And well, not partnership, I mean, we're partners. We're part owners.
Okay, so I gave you the cost over the last 10 years, and you can see how it's grown. That's on page 10. And then, basically, what I did is I just went you through like a little history on the different rates that we've had for the water system. And those rates were in from 2000, it was $87.50, remember them good old days?
Yep.
2006, it was $116. And that's kind of when MDE came in with the flush tax.
Somebody told me a long time ago, that you pay $3 a gallon for milk, $3 a gallon for gas. Water, we pay, what, 10 cents a gallon, so.
Well,
I mean, it's,
bottled water's more expensive.
no, I mean, it's from our system that.
Oh, yes.
Customer bill.
It's a bargain.
Right, it's more of a.
But beer's cheaper.
Yeah. It's better.
You go to sit there, you get beer cheaper than water.
There you go. Oh, really? In the bottles.
Are you kidding?
I don't buy it, but I,
That's like tequila.
that's 12 cans for $9.99.
You sound like a t-shirt. Drink beer.
Yeah.
Drink water.
Say water, drink beer.
Is that your conservation plan?
All right, this is page 10.
Okay, 2007, we're on page 12, you're behind.
Yeah.
Well, 10 years ago, as I mentioned, 10 years ago, we adopted the rate structure that is presently in effect. 10 years. And the flush tax has doubled since from 750 to 15.
In 2007, on page 12, you were at $140.70 a quarter. And your minimum is at 10,000 gallons. Did you know that the county doesn't have a minimum?
They charge you the first gallon.
They charge from 0, a flat rate, and then the rates increase. Did you know for outside the county, there's a flat rate for sewer at $163 a quarter?
Wow.
I know, because I have friends who live just outside of town.
Yeah, having said that, the 10,000 gallon minimum was imposed on us at the beginning of the water system, and we just have to change it. Wasn't that, Joe?
It was, but actually McCrone, John Hoffman used to work for McCrone when we was doing the work.
I know Paul asked for that data, I can't remember off the top of my head, but what is the average amount of gallons a household uses in North Beach, do we know?
I mean, I could figure it out for you, I just did the rate study based on the number of users, I didn't do the average. Did you do an average?
But
I didn't either.
the greatest percentage, we're around that 8 to 10,000. If you looked at all of them, lumped them together,
In that spreadsheet,
large
you
percentage
sent you?
in the 8 to 10,000.
Yeah, they are, they all normally fall, I'm one of the ones, unfortunately, that does not.
Yeah,
So,
you and I both.
Take long showers.
I don't know. I don't know. I've had a lot, it's like a 57 Buick here, this isn't,
Okay, moving on to page 14.
okay. All right, so page 13, and 148.20, where we are now, and you know that the flush tax doubled, it's 15. Well, that really did it now.
Is it still time to put into that new computer?
Wait a minute, no, my view thing went off. funky. Okay, wait a minute.
You might as well just get to the punchline.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
So let's-
I put a lot of effort
I
in
know.
here.
He's been working.
Wait a minute.
And this has been highly entertaining, I must add.
Okay, what changes can you make? All right, you can promote or encourage conservation by just these rates alone, okay? And decrease that minimum, because that's outrageous compared to some cities. Some cities, most of them are like 5,000. In California, you're lucky if you get a bucket of water for that.
You are, that's true.
And then,
I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
let's go down. All right, so here we get to the nitty gritty. Proposed new rate structure. And this is for an 8,000 gallon minimum, which I don't think that's too harsh. And the mayor talked me out of 5,000. No, I'm kidding. Okay, 8,000. You see the existing rates, what they are, and you're rewarded for burning water, throwing water, precious water down the drain. You're rewarded because the rate goes down as you go up.
You want to know why we did that?
To encourage people to hook up.
Yeah. We did that. You knew what, you knew on the channel.
Oh,
Randy, it's economic development tool.
Oh, yeah.
Businesses need cheap water. And Mark, you know who that is too. These younger guys, well, Jane lives in his house.
No, I live in my house.
Wait a minute, Paul's got a
I have a
question.
question. So it says, for the first one, 10,000 gallons.
Yes,
Then it says the next 15,000 gallons is $2. So you total it up, that's 25,000. What happened between 25,000 and 50? I was confused by that.
well, I know you would be, but it was recommended to me because I always say I'm a little slow. Then I take that out so it reflects what we're proposing. There isn't a next 25 that goes there.
But over 17,000, you're paying 5 per
Yeah,
gallon, per thousand.
but Paul's taking, he's wondering about
There's
this.
25,000 gallons missing in
Yeah.
that equation.
That's all, and we just wanted you to see apples and apples, that's all.
So what is that increase from there?
That is, I want to say that is, Christ, I can't remember, do you remember?
That was the calculations I was trying to do.
What's the third rate?
How much are they paying between,
Maybe it's over 25.
It's $1.50, I believe, I'm pretty
Don't
sure.
pull out the fee schedule on the website.
Can you do that, Dawn?
Probably falls right in between.
$1.50.
I would say $1.50.
I think it's $1.50.
I think so, but I'm not 100%.
That's pretty logical.
Fee
Fee
schedule,
schedule.
water and sewer, water and sewer.
That's $4. That's why.
So then the other one would be
it's
$4.
important because we have to propose a new rate for that bin. So,
So I took an average of what you're paying now and just kind
So
of
the other one
divided
would be
it.
like $4.
And I looked at the county's rate and I looked at Chesapeake Beach's rate, which, you know, they have more users than us, so there's not a lot I can do about that.
Well, and they've been subsidizing their rates for about 30 years, and it's just now catching up to them.
But specifically, what is it?
The rates.
It's the water and sewer breakdown for the quarterly bill
I have that.
What
over
is-
25,000.
for water.
$1.50.
Oh,
I think all right.
You split the difference, so
The
maybe
next
$4.
25? Yeah. About 50 per thousand.
And you're gonna wanna know it, they're probably gonna wanna know it on the next one for sewer too.
25,000, 207.
207
How much?
for the next 25.
For sewer.
Okay, so what would you like to put in here for the proposed? 4?
If you're splitting the difference.
Yeah, okay.
What are we changing?
On the other column,
In the
and then you
middle. Yeah.
proposed.
If you're
For the
proposing
$4?
Or between,
from 25 to 50.
well, she has next 17,000, so whatever.
Well, 17 plus 8.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry,
25.
25. So 25 to 50.
So this is a 25 to 50 is $4
Okay, and then anything over 50 is 5.
per 1,000 gallons. We only have one person. Did you say there's only one?
Yeah, there was only one that, in that 12-month period that I saw.
okay, so,
It's like 49,000 gallons.
yeah.
In a month?
No, order, for one person.
I have 3 teenagers, man, I'm amazed I'm at like 175.
Me too.
I beat on the door, they don't stand long.
They're skinny.
I'll climb in there with them if I have to.
I know.
Okay,
Okay.
let's move on.
Okay, page 17. If no one's got any more questions on the sewer,
I mean,
Shall we go to
did
5?
we address that enough?
I guess there's no cap, I was just saying, what if, it's during the winter?
There is
or
no
you-
cap.
Or you have a water lane
Well,
break and you're out of town.
Use your house fence, you know.
We can help those customers out on a case
Yeah.
by
So
case.
Well, the
say,
mayor's-
yeah.
They'll call me anytime we go look at it.
Okay, on page 17, we'll propose a rate of $5.50, right?
You're gonna do the same breakdown here that you did on the other?
Well, there's a 25,000 gallon bin missing, so, okay,
Make it 550, you said?
yes.
Uh-huh. Okay, and this is, we're proposing 118, but what I wanted to tell you, on the next page, it kind of gives you a sample of what the bill will look like, all right? I didn't make it up. And then, page 19, now this is an informative page. The mayor had a brainstorming. Page 19. And you can see what your total is now, it's 924. And then what your structure, if you remain within the 8,000 gallons, what your bill for all your sewer and water needs would be. And it's really not that big of a,
With the adjustment from the water, from the benefit fees, which are going down a little bit.
And then use of gallons, 2,000 gallons for your business.
yeah.
Yes, so we are conserving water.
Well, we hope they
What sign
do.
Mahoney has out there? I mean, that's something that we're gonna start.
A car, rent a car?
Water conservation and stuff like that,
Well, I started with the newsletter, but what I was going to tell you is the next quarter that you'll see these new rates, if you decide to go with these, and I don't know how you would not, it would be October. So what that does, it gives us another billing to get out information and school people. It allows us to put it on the website. It's not going to be pretty, but again, I don't know how you do anything
I
different.
say this from a public works standpoint, though, if you think about it, this is less than $100 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, most people's phone bill,
I
man.
just think we have to make sure
Cable
to
bill or
explain it,
$200 a
like
month.
we're not just.
I mean,
like-
water.
Well, we did explain.
I know, I mean, to the public, like have a nice way of.
She won't know.
But it doesn't, well, it does matter though, it matters that we try.
Well, our public hearing is in June for the budget. Hopefully, once, it's not only Merle here, Merle, I know you talk a lot, but you ain't gonna talk that much, but hopefully more people will be informed by the time this hits the street.
Well, I also think we need to push a little more that people can pay their bill monthly.
You can pay your bill
But I don't
monthly.
think we
You can
press
go online and pay your bill, Gwen, and track your history,
I have a complaint.
and you can pay it monthly if you want to. We're not, I'll take it daily if you want to, but you don't have to pay it quarterly, but most people normally do pay their bill
Well,
quarterly.
that's because. we
That's
get
how
the
it
bill
bills, that's how it bills.
Yes,
We don't get the bill monthly, we
Right.
get the bill quarterly, so we need to.
I'm not promoting that we mail you a bill for.
I'm not either, but
Okay,
what I'm saying is, I think we need to do a better job of letting people know that they can pay monthly.
okay, well, let's educate them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I can vote.
Our current quarterly bill is $148.20, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So what you're proposing is that the bill now go to $196 for 8,000 gallons as opposed to 10.
That's correct.
Okay, so that's a 65% increase overall when you compare gallon to gallon.
You could,
A
yeah.
lot.
Okay, but I just want to make sure that we're all aware that you're going to increase the bill 65%.
And you can see the numbers. I don't see any way around it, Merle, unless you got a big idea.
You got a lot of senior citizens that live down, that are on fixed incomes, they couldn't afford a 65% increase. Their Medicare's gone up, their prescription's gone up, everything has gone up, everything.
I understand.
And ours has currently went up $7 and they took it back.
Merle, our costs have been going up for 10 years, and they were not absorbing any of it.
Or maybe the cost is going up a little bit each year instead of hitting us with 65%. I mean, I'm not talking about myself necessarily, I'm just talking about
I understand.
a great number of seniors that you have in this town. I just want you all to think about that.
But guys, it's $100 a month.
It's
I'll put that
cable is
spreadsheet
that's the burn. We
X
have
users
Comcast,
to this,
$200.
X
Hey, I'm a
that.
senior citizen, I can't
just
afford
because
cable.
that may help.
I don't have television.
You mean a summary of the
Yes.
rate study?
Yes,
Yeah, I can do
I
that.
think that'll definitely help.
Did you what?
Some of.
A summary of the rate study, who falls within what category? And I told you the exception is book 5.
Yeah, and again, like that will help in the audience, we've seen it, but definitely having it out here will help.
Them understand where they fall.
Yeah.
Here's I'll pass this out. Did a little bit of analysis on this a couple of days. And it'll actually be slightly off because I wasn't sure if it was 25,000 gallons. Let me pass this.
And go up?
16,000.
Oh, sorry.
Will you send me electronic?
Sure.
On your bill, it's gonna be like 40.
So start with the one that's actually the side that doesn't have.
Right.
But I'm just saying, you
Start
want
on
to
the other
see
side.
most people.
So we're looking at about, I mean, it comes out to $15.99 a month increase, $15
Yes.
total, right?
That's if you don't go over, because we're lowering the amount of gallons.
Right.
I think probably anybody with more than about 3 people is gonna go over. Because I've been consistent since we got the water system 25 years ago, consistently 18,000 gallons a quarter. Even as family members have slewed off, it has stayed 18,000 gallons a quarter.
Must come up and do it.
Well, we have one kid now that does a lot of water.
And at my house, I've been between 6 and 9, and 6 in the winter, 9 in the summer when water is hard.
That's about me.
All right, let's hear what Paul has to say. He's putting in a lot of thought in on this.
So we got the, you can see up the book side, it doesn't have the graph on it. You can see the current rate structure there, and again, it's a little bit off because I didn't know if it was those 25,000 gallons after 25, and ignored that for a little bit, but I'll rerun these numbers. So you can see the current and then the proposed, and then I'll show you the increase in rates at each one of the gallon levels. Okay, with the biggest one being at 10,000 gallons, which is kind of what you would expect because it's getting kind of a double whammy. It's getting, the rate is going up, and then they're now in a different bracket, they're going to be kind of a penalized bracket because they're going from, they were dropping the minimum there, from 10,000 to 8, so it's going up 39%. And this is just for water, it doesn't include the sewer rates. I didn't have any.
Is the percentage of the people who use 10,000, 10 to 11, do you have that? That's the people that use about 10,
Not percentage-wise, but you can kind of see that. in
or
the
number of
chart.
households, sorry.
Basically show you
Read
that,
this. Using-
not percentage-wise, but I'll show you that visually. And I've got a little more detail on that one too. So that's the proposal. I've kind of messed around with the numbers, and I threw this other possibility out here too for an alternate. And you can see it actually spreads out the increase a little bit more, pushing it more towards those that are using more water. Because a part of this is conservation. We should penalize those that are using more water than we, and not so much the ones that are using less. So if you look at this here, what I did for the third one, the alternate there, was keep the 10,000 gallon minimum and use the $63 rate, which is the one Joanne had proposed. And then for every 1,000 gallons under that, you get $2 back. So that's what you're seeing there. So from 10,000 down, that's why that rate's going down. If you look at even for 1,000 gallons, even that's going up slightly, it's going up 6%. But then it's when you start going over 10,000, that's when the rate actually starts going up more significantly. Now you can see the two totals there, they're not the same. We probably actually get them pretty close by manipulating these numbers a little bit. But you see the idea there, that maybe a little bit more complex rate structure that might actually spread this out a little bit more equitably, especially if we're trying to reward those that are conserving
And
water.
your total comes in at 268, and Joanne's is at 295.
Correct, it's based on these numbers.
So is that, what does that do?
It's about
If we're short $30,000,
No, mine's 319.
What's that?
I need 319 in revenue.
Yeah, I think that became, I didn't know it was just 25,000
That's
gallons, so
what I-
that's gonna be part of that. I
Okay.
can rerun the numbers. So don't hold these like as absolute numbers, but the idea there, that of how we're kind of
But your
structured.
total, what you're proposing would come in under what Joanne's, yeah, like by whatever, 30 or 51,000.
51,000.
Yeah, is that,
And I'm not saying I necessarily propose this exact structure, but I'm just showing an alternative that could possibly make a little more complex structure that might rearrange how that is actually spread across the different buckets there. If that
So
makes sense.
benefit those who use less, but penalize the ones that use more.
Yeah, I mean, we said in this outline here, the part this, the idea is for conserve water, right? So
Yeah.
how
Well,
people conserve
look,
water.
this is a work session, so let's talk about options.
I'm,
So what you're saying is keep it at 10,000, but make the rate increase move steeper after 10,000.
Correct, and actually go down a little bit, less than 10,000.
And that does promote conservation.
I like the idea of the 10,000, because the double whammy of raising the rates and people having less,
Yeah.
Yeah.
being able to use less, I think is a problem. That's kind of why I was asking where most people live in terms of how much they use. My only concern about rewarding for less, I mean, making it too discriminatory is, I mean, you know, if you're just a bigger family, but maybe you have more kids, but your income isn't necessarily more, you know what I mean, those people are gonna pay a lot more, doesn't mean they can afford it necessarily. Sorry. Believe me, I think we can think both sides about it. They should pay somewhat more. I just don't want to make it crazy more. Believe me, I mean, I'd be one of the ones that would save a lot of money. We're a two-person household.
A cheaper product.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's not like you're getting a cheaper product.
It costs the same for us.
Yeah, the product you're getting is exactly the same. It's not like we're offering them a cheaper cell phone because they have more people. I mean, they're getting the same product as the person who uses less of this. So
No, but they're getting charged more.
Our problem is for us, it's the same.
for using more of the product. I mean,
But
they're
for the amount of the product, we're charging incrementally more
Right.
per
But the
unit.
more we use, the more it costs us, right?
Yeah.
So promoting conservation lowers our costs. So people who use more are a larger burden on the product, right? I mean,
Who are the people that are using like way more, like kind of
32
off the
of them.
scale?
I don't know what they are.
I mean,
The rate study doesn't give me account numbers, it
Yeah.
just gives me.
Kind of what you know, Glenn, so just to give you an idea, when we design, or like when they design a household, for instance, for a water system, you know, and try to figure out how big the tank would be, they use like 100 gallons a day for a four-person family. That'd be like 3,000 gallons a month. So it'd be 9,000, that's where the 10 comes up with. So you look at like 9,000 as your average household use
For 3 person.
for 3 months, for a four-person family.
Okay.
When you design
So
like a
10
wastewater or
is-
whatever,
I mean,
so 10 is a good number.
yeah.
It is a good number.
I think 10's a
There was
fair
reason why
number.
10 was picked. And that was why, and actually, the numbers are less now than they were when we designed the system because of all the low flow toilets that have been inundated and everything else. Back then, that the low flow toilets were just a dream. So our numbers back then were about 160 a day, 160 gallons a day.
But the 3,000 is based on new technology.
Well, you're gonna have to look at the certain water, because the aquifer where we pull out of, which a lot of people don't realize, it dropped to like 30 feet in the last, 25 years. So that's the whole conservation thing. We're getting like California for water, we know how to water. And you really have to
But is that rate of
spend money
3,000 a
drilling wells,
month?
drilling wells deeper, new technology.
Is that 3,000 a month, Donnie, based on new technology or old
Yeah, it's
technology?
Fairly, it used to be 120 gallons per house, so we got that to like 100 gallons.
So 10,000 seems like a fair, like, you're not super
What
overusing.
would happen if we went to 9,000?
I just think.
Probably
You
not
can-
all like that.
Not much change, but it still is a start. It's a start.
Yeah, I just hate to see us hit everybody
Well,
such a big amount.
You know, Merle has a point, we probably should have raised this a little bit.
That's- I agree.
Right, well, that's
And we did. Now, one thing I have to say, having been involved in most of the time, is we've always made sure that we were not subsidizing water and sewer rates out of other funds. Mostly because we didn't have other funds to subsidize them out of. So our water and sewer rates were always actual costs. This is how much it costs. And those costs have gone up. And with ENR and the new process over there, forgetting about the construction costs over there, the processes for that are more expensive.
I like what Paul's saying in terms of the 10 and incentivizing people to use a little less, talking about trying to train people. I mean, maybe that's a better way to go, even just psychologically. If we lower it to 8, you know, people are just gonna probably be a little bit upset. If we say it's 10, but if you use a little bit less, you can actually save money.
It's an incentive.
Yeah, because right now, if we just lower it to 8, people probably aren't gonna be able to use, I don't know, they're probably
So
just gonna
get
be
them in the
annoyed.
habit of getting to where they want to use it.
Incentivize them so they at least
get to
feel
it
like,
versus
ooh, we can
charge them.
save a little money.
Incentive to save.
That's what I'm, yeah, like I like the idea of, you know, and then people, we're still at the 10, but we're saying, look, you can actually save a little bit. I think it's just, it's a good motivator, and I think it really ties in with the conserving. If that's part of our mission is conservation, we're giving people something that they can work towards. It's hard, probably gonna be hard to get any lower than 8, you know what I mean? So 10's our baseline, but we say you can save a little if you go lower, then
And then there's places like
in the center.
Oxford. I have a friend that just moved to Oxford. Oxford only has 624 people. However, they pay $248 a quarter for their water and sewer.
Joanne, could you
But you say Calvert County doesn't have a number.
Right,
I thought they did a couple of just big rates.
no, according to January
They should be cheaper than us,
2017,
right?
they changed their
They
rate.
should not be
It's
cheaper.
0.
They went through
You
a
can
big
actually
thing
save more
a while back.
Yeah.
They did the same problem, we did raise rates for a long time, like in Bayside Forest, there's little beauties and different rates. And we wanted to go to one rate
No matter
for
how
all
you
the
get out
time.
of the cost.
They had the same issues we had, because they didn't raise it for a long time either. And when they did, everybody was kind of on arms or whatever, but actually, it cost so much to their cost. But what you're saying would be good.
What if we-
Use less would
What
save
if
money.
we looked at,
The seniors would,
Paul brought up a good point, what if we looked at the incentive for if you use 8, you get a discount, okay? And then, if you use over 10, because we still have to pay for the system.
Right.
We're still short.
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
51,000.
Well, I think that's what this said.
Right.
So,
That your tier structure, and I appreciate all your, it looks really good, Paul, but I need a little more simplification in the tier structure for the rates. So what you may have to consider is increasing the rate a little bit further when you get over.
Right. That's what I'd rather
The
see, when you get
13,000.
higher, maybe a little exponentially more.
But those
Yeah.
rates would have to increase, those dollar amounts per 1,000 gallons would have to increase.
Well, if you'd like a general idea, I can go back and run a whole bunch of scenarios.
I like the general idea, but yeah, I think we need like, I like the idea of 3 or 4 categories, like, you know what I mean? And I like the idea, I like the 10,000 as
I
a,
don't think we need more than
no. I think we
I don't know
should-
why
I think
we
3 to
need
4.
I don't even know why we need more
I
than.
think it should be 3. Why can't it just be 3?
Well, if you're gonna promote conservation, the county only has one rate.
Right.
What is that? What is the rate? Is it per 100 gallon?
1,000 gallons, it's per 1,000.
1,000?
Let me find my sheet, because I waved it around to Jane the other
The
day.
first 1,000, and does it stay the same for?
Double.
There's a flat rate,
And it doesn't get more expensive the more you use?
no, because it's so expensive once you start using any of it.
Right, the cost of producing water, not the benefit. The benefit-
I don't wanna say because, I don't wanna say it wrong.
The benefit's gone down.
Even though the cost of the main water.
We haven't never subsidized it for Australia.
It's
It's been done for 10 years.
I know, don't take the way it is.
Or does it pay for sewer?
Can we come to Paul is willing to crunch the numbers for us, so we get a consensus of what we want him to. He's got to produce 320,000.
Jeff?
Yes, I'm listening.
So 10,000 would be baseline?
With the 10,000. No, we want to stay at
I like the
10,000.
10,000 baseline.
10,000 baseline.
I'm set it below.
Okay, here it is, here it is, here it is.
And then
Everybody, Jeremy?
maybe
You wanna hear it?
7,200.
Yes.
Let me hear it. Calvert County, January 1, 2017. The base rate for water, the old rate was 55.16. The new rate is 55.16. That's a flat rate, okay? Let me finish.
How much more?
It's zero.
Zero.
That's just a
Start
habit.
That's just a habit,
And
okay?
then what?
Sewer rate is $110.86, okay? Then when you get into using gallons of water, it is $2, they have one rate for each utility. $2.71 per 1,000 gallons. So if you use the 10, you're gonna pay 20, almost $30 for,
That's easy.
So like $85.
It's $84.
and then the sewer rate is $5.48 per 1,000 gallons.
Oh, Lord.
Okay? Now for the Twin Beaches only, because they only have the sewer, they don't meter it. That's $165,
$165 just for sewer.
okay?
So you can use however many gallons, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, you got, yeah, because they don't provide any,
With the meeting.
What they do, they order the water
You're
meter
at 118.
is also your sewer.
For sewer.
Like you only have a meter for water, but whatever you use water, then they charge you for sewer, so they charge you for the same amount.
What to do in Fairfax County too. And not to complicate things, but Fairfax County allows you more water usage in the summertime than they do in the winter.
That's weird.
Do they still?
Trying to get
That's
As
what
far as
Charles
I
has.
know, they do.
Big one?
As far as I know, they do.
Ted, you wanted somebody to do it.
You want less in the summertime.
And the county rates were very low.
Good
Paul's going to use the 10,000,
Base.
yes, and generate 319,20,000 with three or four tiers. And he'll email it to us this weekend.
They
Okay?
also-
Another thing, real quick on the back as well. One thing that I noticed, and I wasn't totally sure how this was handled, with the water usage study, there were ones that were at zero.
yes,
Now, I made the assumption that if they were at zero, they're still getting charged that 140.
They do.
Not 140.
They do.
Okay. So based on that, I was like, well, how much money are we actually losing having all of these people not having any readings? So you can see that chart there in the back. What I did is I took that 780 users and I spread it across, equally across the distribution, and then tell the difference. We can see what we're actually losing in revenues, about $5,000 per year by having those not reporting the accurate.
well, they use, it reads zero. The meter, it either has to be replaced because of the age of meters, and that's the cycle we're in now with the radio reads.
Like mine did.
Trying to replace them as we find them and identify them. And then some you don't have usage because there's very few that are seasonal. They don't use much water. But they still get the minimum, which would be in your calculation you could use from the 1 to 10,000, because they still build that.
But the point is, even with all those reporting zero rational, it's not like a huge number. Like that.
Now, that was a rationale that they, and that goes into benefits. If you have a benefit, okay, you only use your house 3 days a year, use 200 gallons of water, you're still going to pay the bill. That also to the bond. I mean, that was the bond.
I'm not arguing that. What I was saying is that there might be houses out there that make more than 10,000 that we're not charging for. That's why it's distributed out across.
Okay.
Stacy, put this on the agenda to next week for us to continue our discussion. Remove the water and sewer rate structure.
Oh, thank you for.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much. You have a talent.
You don't have.
Okay,
That is my budget presentation.
thank you, Joe. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for all the hard work.
Thank you, Paul.
Very good.
All right, we need close the work session and go into executive session to discuss real estate issues.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.